time, Suné, if you can just give us your thoughts. It's obviously been 10 months without action. Now we're heading into our very first ODI. How's the mood in the camp, and how are you guys feeling ahead of the match with Pakistan?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Yeah, it's obviously great to be back playing cricket after 10 months without cricket. So we're very happy to be here. All the girls are very, very excited. It's extremely hot in Durban, but we're working through the heat, and our preparation's been extremely good. So I'm just looking forward to the series that's coming up.
Thank you, Suné. Ali Hassan, I see you have mentioned you want to ask a question. Do you want to take the first question?
Yes, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, please go ahead. And then Zubair, you will go next.
Captain, after a long time, your team is going to play an ODI and T20 series in your home ground. How much pressure on you and your team? Because if I talk about past series, South African team didn't won it properly.
Yes, with Pakistan coming here, they're always a difficult team to play against. They're a very, good quality team with quality players. So it's always a great challenge when they come here. But, the last series we played against them was 2 years ago. The game of cricket has evolved. Our players grew so much over the past 2 years. So I'm just extremely excited to see, how we can execute tomorrow and, what Pakistan brings to the table. Hopefully we can counterattack that. And just start tomorrow with a win.
Zubair, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry for delaying. Captain, firstly, I will say good luck for you for this series. And my question is that definitely after a long time, you will be in a ground. How you see the opponent team? I'm talking about the Pakistan team, because this is not the first time that you both teams playing each other. But right now you are missing the few, the players. Same way for Pakistan, like Bisma is missing in the series. So how you see about this coming series, which is going to start from tomorrow, and what you think and what you see was the top difference between both teams, please?
Yes, I think the two teams are well balanced. Obviously, both teams missing our main captains. But I think it's a good opportunity for both teams, for new and young players coming in to showcase their talent, and, for the experienced players to step up and take responsibility. I think maybe one advantage that, us as a South African team has, we've had 8 players in the Big Bash last year and 2 in the WIPL. So hoping with the game time, the extra game time we had, we are ready to take on the conditions, and we've obviously had some more game time than the Pakistan team over the last 10 months. So hopefully that's an advantage for us.
Thank you, Suné. Shoni, you can go ahead.
Hi, Suné. This is Shoni from ENCA. I just want to follow up on the answer that you did give now. In terms of players playing in the Big Bash and in the women's IPL, just in terms of the rustiness, given that there's been various amounts of game time for players. How would you assess the readiness to play and to start international cricket? And also, I know you had obviously several camps last year. In lieu of any international cricket, how much of a difference has that made? And in terms of assessing where you all are with having had those camps, or is it just better now to be able to test yourselves with international cricket?
Yeah, I think, the camps definitely helped, having one every month. I think we've had a lot of middle practice and not just in the nets working there. We've really had the opportunities to be working outside and in the middle where the game obviously takes place. So I don't think it's going to be anything new for the girls to play an actual game tomorrow. And we've also had a Women's Super League in South Africa over the December holidays, where we had 3 or 4 matches also in the middle, and competitive cricket. So, I think, for the girls coming that's maybe not been playing in the Big Bash or Women's IPL, they've also had their fair share of exposure middle practices and middle sessions. So hopefully tomorrow, it will be nothing new and the girls will just be good to go.
Sudarshanan.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, Sune. I'd like to know what the preparations are like, because generally you talk about home team's advantage, but when you talk about Kingsmead Durban, South Africa hasn't played a game there, international game. So this is going to be the first ever women's ODI. So does that level the field? What are the preparations like? To tackle the unknown?
Yes, I don't think, we've obviously had a couple of games all over South Africa, but like you said, nothing really in Durban or at Kingsmead. But we've had some good coaches coming through that is from Durban and know the conditions extremely well. So we've had the preparation with them, and with their guidance and experience, we know what to expect. And hopefully, Pakistan is coming out of their winter, so hopefully the heat will play a part. But no, the girls are ready. We know what to expect tomorrow. We've had the coaches that do come from Durban, that's guided us in our preparation.
Percy, please go ahead and ask in Afrikaans, sir.
Thank you so much, KK. KK, before I ask my question, can I just ask you, will you possibly give us a second take in Afrikaans as well, later, sir?
Yeah, I'll give you a second take, but we've got 15 minutes, Percy, so and I want to accommodate everyone. So please, if you can just ask us.
Sure. Thank you so. Sune, Percival Young van ENC. Ek wil net kortliks vra eerstens die belangrikheid van hierdie reeks teen Pakistan. Hoe belangrik is vir julle, en soos jy in Engels geantwoord het, net so 'n bietjie raak in die feit dat julle vir 'n tydperk weg van internasionale cricket was, en hoe belangrik hierdie plaaslike women's Super League vir julle was. En my tweede deel van my vraag wil net vra, wil julle as vroue cricketspelers ietwat van 'n fondasie lê, veral in die lig dat julle mans counterparts tans in Pakistan speel, of as julle glad nie gehoor oor hulle wat in Pakistan is nie?
Nee, dit is definitief, jy weet, moeilik vir ons om 10 maande in die cricket te speel en nou ewe skielik in 'n series in te gaan, maar soos jy sê, ons het die MSL gehad in Desember en die meisies het goeie tyd in die middel gehad. En van ons meisies was in Australië gewees waar hulle 2 maande cricket gespeel het. Van ons was in Dubai gewees waar ons vir 3 weke cricket gespeel het. So ek dink ons het genoeg weer tyd in die middel agter ons om reg te wees vir die series wat kom. En in terme van die mans, ons is glad nie, ek dink hulle is in Pakistan en ons is hier en ons albei spanne fokus op hulle eie series en obviously ondersteun ons mekaar, maar op die einde van die dag gaan dit oor wat ons hier doen en wat hulle daar doen. En as dit net so uitwerk dat albei spanne goed doen waar ook al hulle is, dan is dit great, maar andersins fokus ons wat hier aangaan. En worry nie te veel oor wat hulle in Pakistan doen.
Thank you, Percy. And Sune, are you?
Hi, Sune. So my question is, now that you're coming back after a 10-month break, what were those months without cricket like, especially the apprehensions given that a lot of women teams were not having these scheduled series, those series were getting cancelled. As a player, what were your apprehensions during these months away from cricket, because national team was not playing, even though individually you all were going elsewhere?
Yes, no, it was obviously very challenging times for everyone around the world. But I think actually it was a blessing in disguise for some players to get the rest time that they needed after a long couple of months. And I think just to refresh the bodies and the minds. And when everybody came back eventually, when we had our first camp, everybody was extremely hungry for cricket and extremely excited to be back. So I think in hindsight, it was actually a blessing in disguise for some players to just kind of, like I said, just refresh the mind and the bodies. And when we eventually got to camps, everybody was ready to go and extremely hungry for cricket again. So yes, it wasn't ideal that we couldn't play international cricket or provincial cricket for that matter, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm just very grateful that we can actually have a series at this moment in time, and that Cricket South Africa and everybody that's involved could make this happen.
Sune, please go ahead.
Hi, Suné again. Two tiny questions. Just how do you plan to counter the loss of Chloe and Danae? And the second one, I think Percival asked about the Women's Super League. Just obviously it's still kind of in its early days, and we're also kind of wrapping our heads around it. But just how important is it for domestic cricket to have a league like that?
Yes, obviously not having our captain and our vice captain on tour is not ideal, but luckily we have depth, in the youngsters coming through, and we have a couple of experienced players that's also hungry to take the responsibility. So I think without them, we still have a great team. We have, like I said, a couple of youngsters hungry to make them mark in international cricket and to kind of push the more experienced players to let them know that there is other players knocking on the door. So I think it's a great opportunity for selectors and and for the younger players to come through and just make their mark in international cricket. And the Mzansi Super League, the Women's League in South Africa, is extremely important for provincial cricket. Just to it's so important for the younger players that's not in the international setup yet to play with the international players, just to get the exposure and to see what it is all about, and what they still need to do to become professional cricketers and to play for their country. I think with our schedule, we don't always get the opportunity to play provincial cricket. So it's great for them to just play with the older girls and the more experienced girls, and just to see what they still need to do to become professional.
Sirushanan, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. So, like your South Africa's batting order looks largely settled, but if you look at the middle, there's Marizan Kaap, there's Anneka Bosch, there's Kate Unicliffe, there's Nadine de Klerk. Have you kind of decided on the players who are going to play the first today? I know I'm asking for the side, but any idea as to who's going to play, who's not going to play, who are in the reckoning and stuff like that?
I actually do not know the team at all. The coach has been keeping me in the dark, so unfortunately I can't help you with that.
Percy, you'll have the last say for the South African team captain.
Thank you so much, KK. Suné, weer eens dit in Afrikaans gou vinnig. Net so twee vinnige vragies. Net kortliks herinner gou vinnig vir ons, wanneer was die laaste keer wat julle teen Pakistan gespeel het en wat kon julle oor die laaste 10 maande wyser word oor Pakistan in hulle afwesigheid? Wat 'n navorsing kan julle doen rondom Pakistan? En my laaste vraag is dan, julle wil glo met hierdie reeks 'n baie sterk boodskap uitstuur. Ek weet 'n veldtog is nou onlangs van stapel gestuur nou in die week. Wat is julle boodskap wat julle wil oordra met julle reeks nou as die vroue nasionale span?
Ja, ons het natuurlijk 2 jaar terug tegen Pakistan gespeeld in plekke soos Benoni en Potchefstroom. En ek dink om hulle Durban toe te bring, kan party mense 'n bietjie omver gooi, maar ons het mooi vir die mense hierso gevra om die kondisies so te maak dat dit vir ons pas. So ons weet wat ons wil doen en ons weet hoe hulle kolwers normaalweg bat. So hopelik kan ons net beter wees as hulle en ons areas slaan met die bal. Ja, so ons het mooi na al hulle kolwers en hulle bowlers gekyk oor die afgelope paar maande en ek is baie seker dat al ons spelers weet wat om te doen môre. En ja, ons boodskap vir die series is baie groot. Ons wil vir die hele land en vir die wêreld wys en ook net sê dat ons teen gender-based violence is. En ons wil net mense meer wys maak oor die tog en waaroor dit gaan. En hopelik deur om dit te doen en deur die games wat op televisie gaan wees, kan dit net meer mense raak en net meer mense wys maak oor wat op die oomblik aangaan in ons land en reg oor die wêreld.